Well, welcome back to another retro PC content update video thing. As you can tell, we've got something a little bit different today. It's going to be some CRT monitor content. Before that though, here's a quick update on the Caterham situation. The keen-eyed among you will have spotted that this is not, in fact, a Caterham. I've been lucky enough to borrow this from my dad for the last week or so. It's a Morgan, it's very, very nice. And yeah, in the last kind of week or so, we've had some good weather, warm, dry, sunny, rare for England, of course. In fact, it's all gone to crap at the moment. But yeah, no, it was really, really nice actually. And a nice sort of change of pace. It's not the kind of thing you want to rush around in. It's just potter around in the countryside. And I've been to a couple of events with it, and yeah, just enjoyed it. And it's made a nice change. But in terms of the Caterham, well, it's incredibly frustrating. It's incredibly stressful, and at times it's been incredibly upsetting, to be frank. The process with dealing with the insurance, yeah, it's very, very long-winded. Today is exactly 3 months since the taxi ran into the back of the car, and yeah, we've not even started taking it apart yet. It's crazy. It's in good hands. It's in a very safe place, and as soon as we get the green light, it'll be, worked on immediately. Well, very quickly is the plan. In terms of when that will be, absolutely no idea. That's the problem at the moment. It could be this year, but it could just as equally be next year. So I have no estimate of when I'm going to get the car back. So yeah, at least now it is coming into autumn and obviously winter eventually. So it's kind of the off season now. But yeah, it's a heck of a thing. Once it's all wrapped up and done and dusted, I will go into more details, because there's definitely things that I want to share about this process that have not gone particularly well. Hopefully other people can learn from that. I certainly will be, and making some changes. But yeah, I can't really go into too many details yet. I'd rather wait until everything is sorted out and we're all back together and all sorted. So yeah, unfortunately, no real update per se yet, but maybe soon, maybe before the end of the year, who knows? Okay, so this is the box for an Iiyama Vision Master Pro 452. This is something I picked up yesterday, having spent about 2 years trying to find a good one. The reason being nostalgia, sentimental value. I'll unbox it and I'll show you and I'll explain a little bit more. And as if by magic, here it is. The Vision Master Pro 452. This is a 19-inch kind of flat CRT, as you can see. Uses a Diamondtron, a Mitsubishi Diamondtron tube. I bought one of these in 2001. I'm pretty sure it was 2001. I'm also pretty sure this was like the first thing I ever really bought with like the first money I ever earned. And everybody remembers that, right? Your first paycheck, this huge amount of money. Oh, what can I do with it? And then as like a 16-year-old, I thought, yeah, I'll buy one of these. But yeah, it's a really, really nice screen. And this particular one has virtually 0 hours on it. The diagnostics screen will tell you it's got 0 hours on it currently, and it was basically brand new in box, new old stock. The guy I bought it from picked up this and a few others from a computer shop in Bolton that was shutting down. So yeah, it's a really, really good find, and it is absolutely pristine, absolutely mint, of course, you know, in the box, all the bits and pieces as originally shipped. Yeah, it's a really, really good find. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't ridiculous either. Some of these Iiyama screens, they go for crazy money. I did see one recently with it slightly bigger than this, but it went for well over £700, which is insane. Unfortunately, good CRTs now are difficult to find and consequently expensive. So what I'll do, I'll plug it in. I've got a little test machine over there. I'll plug it into that, and I'll sit it next to the 17-inch that this is kind of replacing, and yeah, do a little quick comparison. So for various reasons, I can't actually run both at the same time off this system right now. But yeah, here it is. It's running. Apologies for the flicker. I can't get it to be in sync with the shutter speed on this phone, but yeah, it's gorgeous. The picture is incredible. You know, it always is on a CRT, but especially one of this kind of quality. Yeah, and you know, speaking of quality, the sheer heft of this thing, it's 22 kilos, I believe, or about, what is that, 48, 49, nearly 50 pounds. And it feels every bit of that as well. You know, it's some CRTs, you'll pick them up and they're kind of almost not flimsy, but you can, yeah, they feel a little bit cheap. This does not feel cheap. It's very, very well built. So yeah, there you go, that's that one. And I will just quickly power the other one on just to show a comparison, but you can see the size difference. So the Iiyama is a 19-inch, which is what, about 18-inch viewable, I think. And the Mitsubishi next to it, which is a lovely screen, really, really nice. In fact, it's probably, I don't know for sure, but I would imagine it's exactly the same tube technology in it. It's a Diamondtron tube. But yeah, that's a 17-inch, so what, about 16-inch viewable, I expect. I actually bought this not very long ago, it was only about a month ago, to replace my Sony Trinitron, which is having issues showing blue. In fact, I'll put a screenshot on now. This is the Boot Magic menu, which is supposed to be blue, and you can see it's very much not blue. I had it looked at by a specialist, and one of the ICs has failed, so I'm just trying to figure out where I can get one from, and then I'll get it repaired. But yeah, I bought this in the meantime, and it's really, really nice. It makes some fantastic, almost alarming mechanical noises when it switches resolution, but that's just part of the charm. But yeah, this is now surplus to requirements, so I'll move that on at some point. And yeah, this is the Mitsubishi happily flickering away. But again, the picture quality is just superb. It's really hard to beat a CRT. It really is, even these days. And if you're a sucker for keeping it old school and doing it how we used to do it, then yeah, it's just fantastic. So yeah, so that's the new toy, really, I suppose. Very pleased to have it. It will hopefully go where I want it to put it, where I want it to go. I don't actually know quite how I'm going to fit it in there yet. The guy that sold it to me kind of said, well, he'd have kept it, but it was too big for his little corner where he wanted to keep it. So yeah, we'll see. But I will get that installed and throw a picture up soon. What else? So yeah, there's been more Lian Li acquisitions. Let's have a look at that next. So yeah, look, we all know it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. I was going to get more of these at some point. Let's not pretend otherwise, you know. Yeah, there was a guy not too far away selling these two. So we've got a slightly tatty PC60, which I've already started cannibalising for parts, which is why the side panel's missing. You'll see that in a moment, actually. I'll show you that. But yeah, it's been modified. It's got a hole in the back that someone's butchered. So yeah, I'll clean it at some point because it's quite filthy as well inside. I'll clean it and I'll tidy that hole up and put a blind grommet in it, and it'll be it's spares basically. I'm just using it for parts. But what I really went for was the PC50, which I don't have yet. So this is a new one for the collection. Very similar, of course, to the others, PC60, PC7, etc, etc. It's just slightly smaller. Yeah, I think one of my best mates back in the day had one of these. But yeah, you get obviously the three 5¼ inch bays and two 3.5 inch bays, front I/O, all that kind of stuff. And if I show the rear quickly, yeah, it's got that slightly awkward layout because it's a more compact chassis. But yeah, with the PSU sat above where the CPU is, which is not necessarily great for cooling. It does limit sort of the CPU cooler size that you can use. So this would be, this would probably be quite a challenge to use with anything modern. You've also only got one intake fan at the front there, and the one roof exhaust plus the PSU. So yeah, cooling is not a strong point of this. I haven't cleaned this one yet. It needs to go through that process. There's kind of double-sided tape left on the inside of the side panels where it had some foam glued onto it, I think. But yeah, I'm quite happy to have this one. It broadens the collection a little bit. Not that it really needed, but there you go. Cool. So that's that, and then something else I picked up, which I'll show next. We go from one extreme to the other. Massive silver cases down to this very small black case PC thing. This is a Shuttle. It's an XPC. Of course, I've now forgotten the exact model number of this, so I'll put it in the video edit. But this was what I sort of upgraded to, in inverted commas, when I got rid of my PC70 back in the day. So I went from that enormous PC70 down to this tiny little thing. This is running AMD Athlon 64, what is it, socket 754, 745, whichever, XP 3200 plus, I think, in this. So nothing too crazy. It's going to have a Radeon 9800 Pro to match what I had. That should be turning up this week. But the cool thing with these, actually, you could have an enormous amount of power in a very, very small chassis. The only real downside is the cooling. They're not great for that, and in fact, this one, I haven't really started using it properly yet because the CPU cooler fan is extremely noisy and it has this habit of ramping up and then ramping down and keep doing that, and it's just really annoying. So I'll try and replace that, fix it, sort it out. But what I'd quite like to do with this is replay Half-Life 2 on it, because I'm pretty sure that's what I would have played it on in 2004. Yeah, because we're coming up on the 20-year anniversary of Half-Life 2 coming out, so it'll be fun to replay that. So yeah, the only other thing I haven't shown is why I wanted the side panel from that other PC60. There it is. It's a Lian Li PC60 PC7 official Windows side panel, in really good condition. This was a really good find. It was kind of the main reason I went to get that PC60, along with the PC50, of course. But yeah, it's got this kind of atomic nuclear symbol kind of thing. It's like a sticker, I think, or an applique, whatever you want to call it. I haven't risked trying to take it off, just because it's really easy to mark this kind of perspex. I thought, I'll just leave it in place. It's fine. But yeah, it looks awesome. And this is on it's PC60 with Athlon XP and GeForce 3 in it, the one that's also got the fan controller as well. So this is kind of tricked out a bit, and you'll probably have noticed the blue glow. I did have an LED strip in this, but another bonus of that PC60, which I didn't realise until I went to get it, it had this fully working blue cold cathode in it as well, which is now chilling out in the bottom. You can't quite see it, but that's what's creating this lovely blue glow. And yeah, I hadn't been able to find any working blue cold cathodes. It's one of the things I had back in the day. They were always really fragile. But yeah, it's just such a lovely, subtle, cool blue colour. Cool as in temperature cool. I mean, it looks good too, I think. But it's the look of the early 2000s. I think you can't beat it. So yeah, I'll turn the lights off in a moment and show it in the dark where it really shines. But that's it. A little bit of a ramble today, but thank you very much for watching. I will post another video as and when I feel like it, to be honest. Hopefully there'll be some good news with the Caterham at some point soon, but if not, there'll be More retro PC content, I'm quite sure. Look at that. Beautiful.